side headlock by Clarence Coleman.
That's right, a step over toe hold.
Double left hook by Coleman. You know, I'll tell you, when I talk about subtle strategies, if you look at the body shots Coleman has thrown in the last 2 or 3 rounds, I mean, they have been a lot. Now, why didn't he do that earlier? That could have really been beneficial to him. And here's the question you have to ask yourself. Judges, I mean, this is just a fact. They don't look at body shots that much. I don't know why a lot of judges don't. So will they look at those shots? Now, that last round was a classic example. Our punch profile people probably rightfully pointed out that the jab edge went to Tony Martin. But the body shot edge went big time to Coleman and some more right hands. So will those body shots tip the balance of a round?
Martin just had a very good left hand against Clarence Coleman. Backed Coleman up. Still, you have the feeling this fight could come down to the final round. And Coleman has answered one question, too, and that is the question of stamina. Remember, one of the things you said was that he had to have something left at the end of the fight, and he still does look like he has something left.
Yes, he really, yeah, I mean, these last couple rounds, he's thrown a lot of punches.
Number 10.
Speaking of our number 10 victory, as you were, has Martin put the pressure on? Yes, sporadically. Has he shown confidence? You know, not as much as I think he would like to in a certain way. Coleman's jab, we saw in the last round, it fades in and out. And the not fading in the last round, which you alluded to, yeah, he's been pretty strong in these last couple rounds. So in that sense, he has accomplished that goal.
And he may need all of this last round.
All right? He needs it.
Clarence Coleman trying to work the body here. That one kind of half landed. Good left hook downstairs. He snuck through the defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 10th and final round. Classic Clarence Coleman. Final round.
So 3 minutes of boxing left in this one. This is going to be a tough fight for the loser.
Hold it, no punching.
And if Tony Martin was thinking about retiring after that breaking of his jaw, and then the bitter loss to Brown in which he felt he won, if he should lose a close decision here, it really could be the kind of thing that would tell him, boy, I just don't want to do this anymore.
Let's take a look at your car now. See if this gives you an idea, and certainly it does.
I've got Martin ahead by just one point, 1 round here. Of course, that is subject to question.
Yeah, this is one of those fights you could really conceivably see a very wide disparagement in the judging.
All right, break. All right, break.
Good left hand by Martin. He jumps right on Coleman. Coleman might have been hurt a little bit by that. Good combination again. A right hand and a left behind that. And that drives Coleman off of Martin.
And Tony Martin putting that pressure that we talked about earlier, making it work against Clarence Coleman.
Both corners obviously feel that the fight could come down to this last round, as do we.
And rightfully so, because so many of these rounds are close, so it'd be very hard to argue with some of them going either way, or a lot of even rounds.
All right, break.
I've scored 2 rounds even in this bout, and you know you're pressing when you've got 2 rounds even in the fight.
25 seconds left in this one. Coleman finishing busy.
but finishing dizzy in a round in which he generally let Martin have his way. Good right by Tony Martin. Coleman holding, getting hit with a lot of punches here by Martin, even though they're kind of punches that he's pushing.
Well, that's it, and Martin might have done enough in the final round.
I think one of the pivotal rounds, Barry, is going to be round 9. That was a round that was very, very close and could have gone either way. I ended up giving it to Tony Martin, but that was one that could help decide the fate of this man and his opponent, Clarence Coleman.
So Clarence Coleman and Tony Martin await the decision.
No.
Martin using the left hook very effectively. You'll see a left hand that gets in a little bit. And there's the right by Martin. Here we go with the left hook that lands to the jaw. Kind of a looping punch. Again, Martin using the left hand, doubling with the jab, something he would have wanted to do even more of in this bout, but he did get that in the last round. And for Clarence Coleman, it's ironic, isn't it? Here he gives a really good performance against Frankie Warren, who, you know, is a higher echelon fighter than Tony Martin. And but against this man, Tony Martin, much more sporadic effort by Coleman.
Let's take a look at the final punch profile. And again, as you can see, Martin, the more effective puncher and also the more aggressive puncher. He worked a little bit harder, threw some 75 more punches than did Clarence Coleman, and scored on 7% more than Clarence Coleman. Let's get the official decision now with Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official scoring. John Riley scores the bout 95-95. He has it even. Vinny Ranoni scores at 98-92. Ron Burns has it 97-93. For the winner, by majority decision, Tony pound for pound Martin.
Well, it was just about as you said, actually. 3 judges looking at it, 2 of them looking at it very much the same way, and one of them looking at it dead even. So Tony Martin is the winner by majority decision, and don't you know, he will take that after 2 tough losses in a row. Back with our main event after this. Here on ESPN tomorrow night beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern.